There are times in life when it feels as though everything is slipping away, and you can't quite pinpoint why. Perhaps you've convinced yourself that everything will eventually work out. After all, time heals everything, right? You've put off starting something today, telling yourself that tomorrow will be the perfect day to turn things around. But somewhere deep inside, you know the truth. You've been avoiding some hard realities, and now those unaddressed issues are beginning to pile up. What you choose to ignore today will become the obstacles you face tomorrow. These seemingly small, easy-to-ignore problems will grow into much larger challenges, and by the time you finally confront them, they may be too big to handle. The hard truths you've been evading aren't insignificant. They can end up shaping the future you never intended to have. It's tempting to stay within the comfort zone, to avoid discomfort and the fear of failure. After all, who wants to face the unknown? But the reality is that growth never happens inside the walls of comfort. Life tests you whether you want it to or not. Every challenge you avoid now will only lead to a bigger one later. The truth is simple. Time moves forward, and you need to keep pace with it. If you're not moving with it, you risk being left behind. Every day you delay action is a day you'll never get back. Time doesn't wait for you to feel ready. In fact, waiting for the perfect moment is the quickest way to lose yourself in a sea of missed opportunities. Fear, too, plays a central role in all of this. It whispers to you that you're not good enough, that failure is too risky, and that it's safer to stay put. But every time you let fear dictate your actions, your world gets smaller. Fear thrives in inaction, growing stronger each time you avoid confronting it. It's not failure that keeps people stuck. It's the fear of failure. The longer you wait for fear to disappear before taking action, the tighter its grip becomes. Facing your fears head-on is the only way to weaken them. Each time you confront what scares you, you reclaim a piece of your power, and over time, these small acts of courage will help build a life rooted in strength and resilience. Another uncomfortable truth is responsibility. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck, but the reality is that when you avoid taking responsibility for your life, you also give up your power to change it. Every excuse you make may offer a temporary sense of relief, but it locks you into a cycle of stagnation, stripping you of the freedom to grow. No one else is going to fix things for you. You are the only one responsible for your choices, your actions, and your future. Embracing this responsibility may feel daunting at first, but it is the key to unlocking your true potential. When you fully own your life, you start to see just how much power you have to shape it. Success, too, is often misunderstood. We tend to believe that success should come easily, that if something is meant to be, it won't require hard work or sacrifice. But real success demands effort, discipline, and the willingness to step outside your comfort zone. Every meaningful achievement involves a price, whether it's time, energy, or the discomfort of uncertainty. The road to success isn't paved with shortcuts. It's built on consistent, often unseen actions. It's saying no to distractions, staying disciplined when motivation wanes, and pushing through even when progress feels slow. The truth about success is that it isn't glamorous, it's messy, it's sometimes lonely. It demands more from you than you thought you could give, but the rewards are worth every bit of the struggle. Change, too, doesn't wait for your permission. Life will keep moving whether you're ready or not. Resisting change will only lead to frustration, regret, and a feeling of being stuck. What seems safe and comfortable today will eventually turn into something that holds you back if you let it. Stability, we often think, is something we should crave. But the truth is, stability is an illusion. Life is always in motion, and if you don't move with it, you'll find yourself left behind. One of the hardest truths is that emotions, like everything else in life, need to be faced, not ignored. Suppressing emotions might seem like a form of strength, but it's actually just avoidance in disguise. Emotions are meant to be processed, not buried, and when you face them with honesty, you not only learn how to manage them more wisely, but also build emotional resilience. Relationships, too, can hold uncomfortable truths. Not all connections are worth keeping, and not everyone deserves your trust. The people you choose to surround yourself with shape your reality. Some relationships can be draining, preventing you from growing into the person you want to become. It's tempting to hold on to people because of fear or obligation, but sometimes the healthiest thing you can do for your own growth is to let go. Healthy relationships require effort, boundaries, and mutual respect, and not every person you meet will be willing to walk beside you as you evolve. That's okay. The right people will be there, supporting you, not holding you back. Good health is another truth that often goes neglected. It's easy to overlook it when everything feels fine, but neglecting your health will always catch up with you. Poor health affects everything: your energy, your clarity, and your ability to pursue your goals. Small daily habits compound over time, and what you do today shapes the quality of your future. No amount of success can replace the value of good health. Taking care of yourself isn't just a personal responsibility. It's an investment in the future you're building. Ultimately, the life you dream of will not create itself. It takes action, commitment, and the courage to face the hard truths you've been avoiding. Every decision you make today is shaping your future, even if you don't realize it. You can't control everything, but you can control how you respond to life's challenges. The question is, will you take responsibility and act, or will you continue to let fear, procrastination, and excuses hold you back from what could be? Your future is waiting for you, but it requires you to take the first step. Right now, this moment, is the turning point. The life you want is within reach, but only if you're ready to claim it. The truths you've been avoiding aren't obstacles. They're the keys to your freedom. The sooner you face them, the sooner you can unlock the life you were meant to live. So, what will it be? Will you keep drifting, or will you take that first step toward the life you deserve? Procrastination, in particular, is one of the most dangerous truths that goes unnoticed in many lives. It doesn't come crashing in like a storm. Instead, it sneaks up on you, disguised as harmless delays, convincing you that you can put things off just a little longer. But each time you delay something important, you're feeding a habit that will only tighten its grip over time. Procrastination can control more than just your tasks. It starts to shape your identity, erode your dreams, and build a wall between you and the future you want. At its core, procrastination is not about laziness, it's about fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. When tasks feel overwhelming, the mind seeks safety, avoiding what's uncomfortable. But comfort zones, while they feel safe, are not where growth happens. The longer you stay in the familiar, the harder it becomes to break free. Procrastination feeds off avoidance, convincing you that the task is too big or that you need to wait until everything is perfect before you can begin. However, perfectionism is just another form of procrastination. It tricks you into believing that you need the conditions to be just right before you take action. But the truth is, perfectionism paralyzes you. It convinces you that it's better not to try than to risk doing something imperfectly. And in doing so, it ensures that you never start at all. The longer you delay, the more your confidence erodes. You become someone who waits, who delays, who avoids, and that becomes your identity. The only way to break free from procrastination is to act. Take small, imperfect steps. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect. Just begin. Every small task completed, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is a victory, and every victory builds momentum. The more you act, the easier it becomes to act again. Action breeds confidence, and confidence creates change. Remember, procrastination robs you of time, but it also robs you of the connection to your goals and your dreams. Time is a finite resource. The longer you wait, the more opportunities slip by. Don't let the fear of starting keep you from the life you want. Take that first step, no matter how small, and keep going. Momentum will carry you forward. Growth and change aren't achieved through wishing. They come from taking action. And action demands responsibility. Every step forward requires you to own your decisions, even when things go wrong. When you avoid responsibility, you block your own progress. Over time, your mind starts to accept stagnation as normal and comfort becomes a trap. Without facing life's demands, growth is impossible. Avoidance keeps your dreams out of reach. People notice when you avoid responsibility, even if they don't say anything. Your actions create patterns that others learn to expect. At first, people might give you the benefit of the doubt, but eventually, your behavior builds a reputation. If avoidance becomes a habit, it erodes trust, and others will stop relying on you. The damage to your reputation can create invisible barriers, closing doors you may not even realize were open. Blaming others feels like an easy way out, but it leads nowhere. Avoiding responsibility robs you of the lessons that would help you grow. Blame may feel satisfying in the moment, but it gives you the false sense that the problem is beyond your control, leaving you powerless. True growth comes from looking inward, confronting your role in things and taking action to improve. Life will demand accountability from you whether you like it or not. Responsibility catches up with everyone, and the longer you avoid it, the harder it hits. The sooner you embrace responsibility, the more confident you'll be when life tests you. People who practice accountability can face challenges with assurance, while those who avoid responsibility will be unprepared and overwhelmed. Avoiding responsibility teaches helplessness. It's a silent lesson that spreads through all areas of your life. The more you refuse to own your actions, the less confident you'll feel in managing your future. You begin to believe that life is something that happens to you, not something you shape. That helpless mindset shrinks your sense of control and fuels a cycle of avoidance. What begins as a simple choice to dodge responsibility grows into a belief that you have no power at all. This avoidance doesn't only harm you, it affects the people around you too. When you don't take responsibility, others are forced to carry your load, leading to frustration and resentment. Whether it's a colleague, friend, or family member, those closest to you will feel the strain. Responsibility is shared. When you avoid it, others bear the weight. Over time, relationships can weaken, not because of what you've done, but because of what you refuse to do. Excuses might feel like protection, but they build walls that separate you from others. The more you rely on them, the harder it becomes to form meaningful connections. People respect honesty and accountability, not perfection. When you own your actions, you show that you can be relied upon, even when things go wrong. This builds trust, which strengthens relationships and opens doors to opportunities. Avoiding responsibility also undermines your confidence. Each time you dodge ownership of your actions, you reinforce the idea that you're not capable of handling life's challenges. Confidence is not built through comfort, it's built through facing difficulties head-on and learning from them. When you avoid responsibility, you rob yourself of those opportunities for growth. Over time, this avoidance weakens your sense of competence. What could have been a moment of progress becomes a missed chance, leaving you with doubt instead of assurance. Life won't wait for you to feel ready. Accountability will knock at your door, whether you invite it or not. Responsibilities only grow with time. The sooner you accept them, the better equipped you'll be. Every moment spent avoiding responsibility only leaves you less prepared for what comes next. It builds over time, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. Avoiding responsibility doesn't just affect your life. It shapes the way you view yourself. It teaches you helplessness and leads to a diminishing sense of control over your future. If you constantly refuse to take ownership, it becomes easy to think of life as something you can't influence, rather than something shaped by your decisions. This mindset leaves you stuck, feeling powerless to change. On the other hand, responsibility opens doors to freedom. It may seem like a burden at first, but it's actually the key to reclaiming control over your life. By taking ownership, you regain the ability to shape your future. With each step you take, the weight of responsibility becomes lighter. Those who avoid it remain stuck under a heavy load, not from the burden itself, but from the fear of confronting it. Avoidance turns small challenges into major obstacles. What you refuse to handle today will only grow more complicated tomorrow. In contrast, taking responsibility shrinks problems. The more you avoid, the more difficult things become. Responsibility turns mountains into manageable steps. Each time you own your actions, you unlock growth. Accountability isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, learning from mistakes, and adjusting. The more you practice responsibility, the stronger and more resilient you become. This sense of reliability, built through consistent effort, brings confidence, even when things go wrong. There are no shortcuts to true freedom. It comes from knowing that you can rely on yourself, no matter what life throws at you. It's the quiet strength that grows from taking responsibility. People who avoid it may feel free in the short term, but their freedom is shallow and fleeting. Real freedom comes from facing life's demands head-on and knowing you have the power to shape your own future. Responsibility helps you align your actions with your values. It provides clarity and purpose, so every step you take feels intentional. Through accountability, you begin to understand what truly matters, and your focus sharpens. It sets the foundation for success, but without the right mindset and habits, even the best intentions can fall short. Success is not just about doing more, it's about doing the right things for the right reasons. Goals can feel overwhelming when you focus only on the end result, but true success comes from daily, consistent action. Small steps add up, and focusing on progress rather than perfection is key. Fear of discomfort often holds us back, but discomfort is where growth happens. Avoiding discomfort only keeps you stuck. Real success is built by leaning into discomfort, learning, and pushing through even when it's tough. Misaligned actions, driven by external validation or fear, only drain your energy. Success comes when you pursue goals that reflect your values, not when you seek approval from others. Small, consistent efforts lead to lasting change, and over time, those small steps create the momentum you need to reach your goals. Avoiding responsibility or progress only ensures you'll stay stuck. Negative self-talk, distractions, and over-planning are just ways to avoid taking the first step. Success isn't about having the perfect plan. It's about taking action and adjusting as you go. Setbacks are part of the journey, and each one is an opportunity to learn and grow. Resilience, the ability to keep going despite setbacks, is what separates those who reach their goals from those who give up. Patience is essential. Success takes time, and results may not always be immediate. But with steady, consistent effort, progress will come. The key to achieving your goals isn't grand gestures. It's the daily, persistent work that builds momentum over time. Remember, success is a process, not a destination. The journey shapes you, builds your resilience, and provides the lessons needed to reach your goals. Embrace responsibility, stay focused on your values, and keep going, even when it gets tough. The path to success is built by the choices you make today. Success isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about growing into the person you need to become in order to achieve it. To succeed, you must face challenges head-on, but fear often tries to block your way, creating doubts and making even simple decisions feel monumental. Fear promises safety, but it only leads to regret. If left unchecked, it builds invisible barriers that prevent you from living the life you're capable of. The lessons you learn from confronting fear don't just apply to the present, they shape your future success. Fear weakens your confidence, limits your options, and narrows your path if you give in to it. Every time you avoid fear, it grows bigger in your mind, turning small concerns into overwhelming obstacles. Avoidance teaches your brain that fear is something to run from rather than face, leaving you trapped in hesitation and doubt. The way to weaken fear is through action. Even small steps taken in the face of fear gradually diminish its power. What's ironic about fear is that it's often based on imagined dangers that never materialize. The mind exaggerates the risks, creating worst-case scenarios that paralyze you. The more you confront your fears and discover that they were overblown, the more you reclaim your power. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you earn by acting in spite of your fear. you realize that fear isn't as powerful as it seems the moment you face it. Each time you act despite your fear, you grow in your belief that you can handle challenges. Fear of failure is more paralyzing than failure itself. The thought of failing feels much heavier than the failure itself, and when fear of failure controls your decisions, you miss out on valuable learning experiences. The truth is, failure is part of the process. It teaches lessons that success can't. The pain of failure is temporary, but the regret of never trying lasts much longer. The real failure isn't falling short, but not trying at all. Fear convinces you to wait for the perfect moment, or to believe that you're not ready. But life doesn't wait for fear to go away. Fear distorts your view of risks, making even small challenges seem insurmountable. It clouds your judgment, leading you to avoid opportunities that hold far less danger than you imagine. Most risks are manageable, and learning to evaluate them with clarity helps you move beyond fear. When you recognize that most fears are just illusions, you gain the confidence to take risks and realize that the rewards far outweigh the discomfort. The fear of rejection is rooted in a desire for approval. Rejection stings because it challenges your self-worth, but seeking approval is a trap. It keeps you small, convincing you that it's safer to stay silent or hold back. The truth is, rejection is a normal part of life, and it's not a reflection of your value. The more you detach from the need for validation, the freer you become. The longer you wait to confront fear, the harder it becomes to act. Fear feeds on hesitation, and every delay makes it more difficult to step forward. The perfect time to act rarely comes, and waiting for it only strengthens the hold fear has over you. The key to overcoming fear is to act in the present, even if the timing isn't ideal. With each act of courage, you build the courage needed for future actions. Overcoming fear isn't a one-time victory, it's an ongoing practice. Fear will resurface in different forms throughout your life, but success comes from learning to meet it each time it appears. With each confrontation, fear loses its power, and you begin to see it as a signal to move forward, not as an enemy to avoid. As you face fear, you strengthen your ability to navigate life's challenges, becoming a stronger and more capable version of yourself. Fear is not something to eliminate, but something to understand. It exists to protect you, but it often oversteps its bounds. Learning to recognize when fear is a true warning and when it's an obstacle to your growth is essential. Not every fear deserves your attention, and not every risk is worth avoiding. Success comes from knowing when to face fear and when to move through it. The greatest freedom comes from realizing that fear cannot control you unless you let it. Fear will always be a part of life, but it doesn't have to dictate your choices. Each time you act despite fear, you weaken its hold over you and take control of your life. The courage you build today is the foundation for the life you want to create. Fear challenges you to grow, but comfort keeps you stuck. The fear of stepping outside your comfort zone is natural, but staying in your comfort zone comes at the cost of personal growth. Growth requires discomfort, stepping into the unknown and confronting uncertainty. Comfort zones might feel secure, but they trap you in a cycle of stagnation, keeping you from discovering what you're truly capable of. Every meaningful achievement requires the courage to step beyond your comfort zone. Growth is a process that unfolds with each small step taken into discomfort. The more you stretch yourself, the more you grow. What once felt impossible becomes manageable as you expand your capacity for challenges and new experiences. Waiting for the perfect moment to act will only keep you stuck. Readiness is a myth. Growth happens when you act, even before you feel fully prepared. The longer you hesitate, the harder it becomes to take action. Growth requires action, not overthinking. Each step you take, no matter how small, builds momentum and quiets the doubts that try to hold you back. Comfort zones restrict your potential, keeping you from realizing your full capabilities. The more you push yourself beyond them, the more you expand your ability to handle life's challenges. Growth isn't just about reaching new goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can face life with confidence, no matter what it brings. Comfort zones create the illusion of control, But life will challenge you regardless of how secure you feel. The only way to stay in control is to embrace growth. Expanding your comfort zone prepares you for the unexpected, giving you the tools to handle whatever life throws your way. Growth teaches you to embrace uncertainty, building your confidence and resilience. As we grow and evolve, so do our needs, goals, and values. Staying in the same place can create inner tension, as the person you are now no longer aligns with the person you're becoming. The only way to remain in harmony with this evolving self is to grow alongside it. Comfort zones are meant to be outgrown, not a permanent place to reside. Growth ensures that your life reflects who you are becoming, not just who you were. True growth comes from stepping into the unknown, even when it scares you. Fear signals you're on the edge of something significant. It marks the boundaries of your comfort zone, urging you to step beyond them. Growth happens when you face your fears, not when you run from them. Each time you act in spite of fear, you expand your comfort zone and gain the courage to face even bigger challenges. Over time, fear loses its power when you view it as a guide rather than a barrier. Success requires you to constantly outgrow yourself. Each new accomplishment creates a new comfort zone that can quickly become a trap if you stay in it for too long. Growth demands that you keep pushing, even when things are going well. The moment you stop challenging yourself, you risk stagnation. Personal growth is a lifelong journey of expanding your limits, learning new skills, and stepping into new roles. Success isn't a destination, but a continuous process of growth. Living in the comfort of the familiar may feel easy, but it doesn't provide deep fulfillment. Growth, on the other hand, brings meaning, purpose, and connection. It reveals your true potential and helps you live life to the fullest. Comfort zones promise safety but deliver frustration. Growth offers challenges but leads to a life well lived. As you grow, you'll face hard truths. Not everyone will understand or support your journey. Some people may feel threatened by your progress and others may distance themselves. But you must continue moving forward, even if it means walking alone for a while. The people who are meant to stay will eventually catch up, and those who don't are not part of your future. Hard work is essential, but it doesn't guarantee success. You can put in your best effort and still face setbacks. Luck, timing, and circumstances beyond your control play a role, but hard work increases your chances. Effort is the currency that opens doors to opportunities. Without it, success remains out of reach. Change is inevitable, and resisting it leads only to suffering. Life will shift with or without your consent. Holding on to what was familiar only creates frustration. Everything around you is in constant motion, and your ability to adapt determines whether you grow or get left behind. Resisting change is like standing in a moving river. It doesn't stop the current. It only makes it harder to move forward. Life isn't fair, and there's no way around that truth. Some people start with more, face fewer obstacles, or encounter luck at just the right time. But fairness is not within your control. What matters is how you respond to life's challenges. Complaining about unfairness drains your energy, while focusing on your response gives you power. The sooner you accept that life is unfair, the sooner you can stop waiting for justice and begin creating your own success. Failure is part of the process. Each step forward carries the risk of falling short, but each failure teaches you valuable lessons that success cannot. Failure sharpens your skills, builds resilience, and helps you adjust your course. It's not a sign of incompetence, it's evidence that you're trying. Avoiding failure means avoiding growth. Every setback is a lesson in disguise, pushing you closer to your goal. The only true failure is giving up. Time waits for no one. Every moment you hesitate slips away. There are no second chances for lost time. The perfect moment doesn't exist, so waiting for it only holds you back. The future you want starts with action today. Time moves forward regardless of whether you act or not. Each day is an opportunity that won't come again, so take action now, using what you have, before the chance passes. Support is a gift, not a guarantee. As you pursue growth, you'll realize that not everyone will support you. Some people prefer that you stay the same because it's easier for them, Expecting constant approval only leads to disappointment. Growth can be lonely, but it's necessary. The absence of approval forces you to build inner strength and rely on yourself. Real supporters will show up through their actions, not just words. But you must keep moving forward, even when they don't. Effort doesn't always bring immediate rewards, and that's where many people falter. It's easy to feel discouraged when hard work doesn't pay off right away. But effort compounds over time. Even if the results aren't visible yet, the process matters. Every small step brings you closer to your goal. Change brings discomfort, but it also brings growth. The life you want won't emerge from staying in your comfort zone. It requires you to leave behind old habits, beliefs, and routines. Change challenges your sense of stability, but it also opens new doors to opportunities you wouldn't have seen otherwise. It's not change itself that creates suffering, but the refusal to embrace it. Growth comes from stepping into the unknown and trusting that you'll learn as you go. The discomfort is temporary, but the growth is permanent. Fairness is a concept based on expectations, not reality. Waiting for life to be fair will only leave you stuck. Instead of focusing on what's unfair or missing, focus on what you can control: your actions, mindset, and perseverance. These shape your future more than fairness ever will. Failure teaches valuable lessons that success can't. When everything goes right, you don't learn how to handle setbacks, adapt, or persevere. Failure exposes weaknesses but also highlights strengths. Every failure gives you a chance to grow and improve. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning to fail well. Embracing failure as a necessary part of achievement is essential for growth. Time is the most valuable resource you have. How you use it determines your future. Every day is a blank canvas, but the paint dries quickly. Hesitating or procrastinating only wastes time. The difference between success and regret often comes down to how you manage your time. You can't buy more of it, but you can choose how to spend it. Prioritize action over perfection, and you'll make progress toward your goals. Emotions are part of the human experience, but suppressing them only gives them control over your thoughts, decisions, and actions. Ignoring your feelings doesn't make them disappear. It gives them quiet control. The more you suppress, the more those emotions shape your behavior, often without your understanding. Unchecked emotions show up unexpectedly, leaving you feeling off balance or overwhelmed. Facing your emotions is key to understanding and growing. Suppression isn't strength, it's self-sabotage. Emotional awareness is necessary for personal growth. Every emotion carries a message. Whether it's telling you something needs to change, a boundary has been crossed, or you need rest. Avoiding these signals stunts your development. The discomfort of emotions is part of the solution, not the problem. When you confront and understand your feelings, you unlock greater self-awareness and growth. Self-reflection helps you process emotions constructively. By reflecting on what you feel, you can uncover patterns and unmet needs that drive your emotions. This awareness allows you to make intentional choices rather than reactive ones. Emotions, when understood, become tools for personal growth and insight. Stoicism teaches that emotions are natural but temporary. You can feel anger or sadness without letting it consume you. Detachment doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, it's about understanding them without being controlled by them. Emotions give you vital feedback about your needs and boundaries. Ignoring them disconnects you from this feedback, making it harder to respond effectively to what you truly need. By allowing yourself to feel and process your emotions, you ensure your actions align with your values and well-being. Suppressing emotions only amplifies them, while acceptance brings peace. Emotions impact not only your mental well-being but also your physical health. Suppressed emotions can lead to stress, fatigue, and illness, as the mind and body are interconnected. Unprocessed emotions weaken your immune system and increase your vulnerability to illness. Emotional awareness reduces stress, promotes relaxation, and supports better overall health. Emotional empowerment is about owning your feelings without letting them control you. Understanding and managing your emotions gives you control over your inner world. When you stop running from your feelings, you reclaim your power. By acknowledging your emotions and making decisions that align with your values, you take charge of your life's direction, Emotional awareness also strengthens your self-discipline by helping you manage impulses and act with greater clarity and intention. Emotional awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your emotions, which empowers you to make thoughtful choices rather than reacting impulsively in moments of frustration, anger, or impatience. This awareness helps you stay aligned with your goals, even when emotions threaten to derail your progress. When you understand the emotional triggers behind your behavior, you're able to break free from unhealthy patterns that may be holding you back. Ignoring your emotions creates blind spots, influencing your actions in ways you're not fully aware of. By developing emotional awareness, you gain clarity and insight into your motivations and habits. Recognizing the emotional roots of your actions allows you to make conscious decisions that align with your values and goals. It's not about avoiding discomfort. It's about facing it head-on. Personal growth comes from confronting difficult emotions, which builds patience, resilience, and acceptance. Each time you deal with uncomfortable feelings, you strengthen your ability to navigate them with grace. Emotions are not obstacles. They are guides that offer insights into who you are and what you value. Engaging with your emotions helps you better understand your needs and desires, fostering self-awareness and emotional freedom. When you accept and experience your feelings without fear or shame, you become more in control of your emotional responses and can engage in relationships with greater understanding. However, relationships themselves can be complex, filled with moments of joy, tension, growth, and sometimes loss. Realizing that you can't control how others behave, but that you're responsible for your boundaries and reactions, is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. Trust is key in any relationship, but it must be earned through consistency and respect. Trusting too easily can lead to disappointment, while withholding trust completely isolates you. Healthy relationships require effort and mutual contribution. Saying no is necessary to protect your boundaries and your well-being. Boundaries aren't about shutting others out, but about defining how you want to be treated. Relationships without boundaries can lead to burnout, while boundaries help clarify expectations and prevent emotional exhaustion. It's also important to recognize when a relationship has become one-sided. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, where both individuals maintain their own lives, interests, and goals. Over time, relationships will change, people evolve, and so do the needs and dynamics of their relationships. It's essential to embrace these changes rather than cling to the past. Recognizing when it's time to let go of a connection that no longer serves you is not a failure, but a step toward personal freedom and growth. Sometimes, relationships must end for both parties to move forward. Building meaningful relationships requires vulnerability. True connection happens when both people feel safe enough to be open and honest. Trust, once broken, takes time and effort to rebuild. It's a gradual process that requires consistency, transparency, and mutual commitment. Relationships that thrive are those where both people actively contribute, and the effort is mutual, not one-sided. Equally important is taking care of yourself, especially your health. Your physical and mental well-being is foundational to achieving your goals and maintaining meaningful relationships. Neglecting your health can lead to fatigue, poor decision-making, and diminished productivity. Small, consistent, healthy habits, like sleeping well, exercising, and eating nourishing foods, support your energy, focus, and resilience over time. These habits may seem small in the moment, but they build up and protect your long-term well-being. Neglecting your health, whether by poor diet, lack of sleep, or stress, can have lasting effects that are harder to reverse over time. The human body is adaptable, but it has limits, and the damage caused by neglect often becomes apparent only after it's too late. Taking care of yourself allows you to live a life of vitality, and it enables you to engage fully with your relationships, goals, and passions. Your health is the foundation of your success, and without it, all the achievements in the world won't bring true fulfillment. In addition to physical health, managing stress is also essential. Chronic stress can weaken your immune system, impair your mental clarity, and negatively affect your mood. While you can't always avoid stress, you can manage its effects with practices like mindfulness, exercise, and spending time in nature. By actively managing stress, you preserve your emotional and physical well-being, ensuring you're better able to show up for yourself and others. Ultimately, balancing your health, your relationships, and your emotional well-being is key to living a fulfilling life. Healthy habits, emotional awareness, and nurturing relationships are all part of the equation. When you invest in these areas, you set yourself up for long-term success, happiness, and personal growth. If you found value in today's video and want to continue exploring Stoic wisdom, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Join our community as we learn together how to live with more clarity, resilience, and inner peace. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.